Care for people, report the truth. Welcome to GPDN Weekly News. I am Judy Lee. Let's take a look at this week's world headlines. 18-year-old Italian teenager Anita Folani, daughter of mayor of Tuscany town, was sexually harassed on her way home at night. She ignored the man who had followed her on and off the tram and harassed her with many questions. The online community reverberated with her experience, and the story went viral, being shared over thousands of times. She expressed that these experiences have become common but should not be normal, voicing the people's call for fairness and equality. President Donald Trump's two-business advisory board crumbled as Trump insisted that violence at Charlottesville was carried out by many sides, including the counter-protesters demonstrating against white nationalism. The advisory board is made of top CEOs. Trump had hoped to get help creating jobs, especially in manufacturing. 8 members quit after Trump said protesters were equally to blame. In a group statement, the advisory said that intolerance, racism, and violence are an affront to American core values. Heavy rain in West Africa has turned from a blessing into a tragedy as mudslide strikes Sierra Leone on August 14th. It has been reported that nearly 500 lives have been taken, over 150 of which were children. While the rescue team continues to search through the mud and debris, the death toll is expected to rise by the day. The people of Sierra Leone are overwhelmed as they are just recuperating from Ebola in the civil war. Presidential spokesman Abdoulaye Barete calls to the world for aid. To avoid August crisis, China urged peaceful solution on August 15th for the nuclear issue on the Korean peninsula. The growing tension comes from North Korea's threat to fire missiles towards Guam, the U.S. Pacific territory. Game on is what U.S. responded strongly in defense. The U.S. and South Korea exercised Ultra Freedom Guardian, which could seem as a threat to North Korea. However, Russia calls to stop military exercise in South Korea to cool down the complex and sensitive situation in the Korean peninsula. According to an Indian official, a border confrontation occurred in the western Himalayas between Indian and Chinese soldiers on August 15th, leaving both parties with minor injuries. Tensions between the two nations remain today as border disputes since 1962 remain unresolved. China's foreign ministry claims that Indians have to withdraw their people and equipment from China, while India's foreign ministry claims that there is no calmly delineated line of actual control between the two countries. Now let's look at GPDN Human Rights Focus. The judiciary is said to be the last line of defense against government. But in Taiwan, Taijimen case is a well-known case of injustice regarding judiciary and taxation. Scholars, lawyers, and professionals gathered to voice the injustice for this case, and they were calling for an improvement in the judicial yuan and the Ministry of Finance.
On July 13, the 10th anniversary marking the ruling in favor of Taijimen in the unjust case, which reveals the issues of Taiwanese judicial law, 5 organizations from the Coalition of Fight for Fair Tax hold press conference and public seminar for the Rectify Injustice and Revoke Unlawful Tax Bill. Tax professionals who were involved in or reviewed the case of Taijimen range among different generations. In 1996, prosecutor Ho Kun-ren abused his power by creating a false indictment. The Supreme Court ruled Taijimen as not guilty and free of any tax evasion 10 years ago. However, up to today, the tax bureaus are still issuing tax evasion notice. The case has been going on for 21 years, which highlights a serious failure in the nation's rule of law. In year 2000, the Minister of Finance Yan Qingjian said they would honor the final judiciary ruling of the Taijimen's case. Since the court has affirmed that the gift to Shifu is gift, tax bureaus and the Ministry of Finance should make correction in accordance with the ruling, immediately rectifying the case.
The
nature of the money is not income but gift. There has already been an answer, and the answer is derived from rigorous judicial system. I will encourage the Taipei City Tax Bureau and the current Ministry of Finance to act properly as soon as possible in a reasonable way, putting an end to this case.
Wei Jingqianling, who was the investigator of the control yuan, saw many illegal actions from tax agency and corrected them. She says that control yuan should take immediate actions towards the illegality of executive departments in order to have power balance.
我有7点
I've made some corrections, and the tax agency always says that, we made mistakes each time without correcting them. So they receive every year's income tax in 2009. Therefore, as you can see, there could be a lot more people got affected. And who would be responsible for that?
Another problem highlighted from the Taijuman's case is about administrative court, which deals with tax cases. Lawyer Wen Zheng'an deals with administrative litigations for many years, says that the rate civilians lose to Taiwanese administrative court is about 94%, so that lawyers are also very helpless. He insists on returning justice to Taijuman's unlawful case so that Taiwanese taxation system can be reformed.
Persistent will bring changes because we have seen some small changes already. Although it's very slow, it does exist. I think being persistent will help. It will be a turning point and will be helpful for Taiwan.
If the Taijuman case from 21 years ago cannot be resolved, it means that the transitional justice has not been implemented. Scholars call upon the government to conduct comprehensive reviews and rectify injustices in false cases. Solid actions by the governmental reformation is what the people want to see the most. Meng Fenghui, Naomi Chen reported in Taipei.
As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." We must put in our efforts to end injustice for all. This week's GPDN Focus looks at the 29th Summer Universiade, which is the second largest sports event in the world. The opening ceremony kicked off in Taipei on August 19th with more than 7,600 athletes from 142 countries. Let's take a look at the excitement of Taipei City on the 19th.
The 29th Summer Universiade is having its grand opening ceremony in an hour, and we can see that all the people are waiting in a line and welcoming the athletes from all over the world. About the opening ceremony, the FISU and the organizing committee keep all the details confidential, but what we know is that one of the performing groups has presented their performances at Olympic Games Arena, so it is hoped that it will show Taiwan's culture to all over the world. Some people come in groups, some in eye-catching outfits. They are all coming to cheer for the Taipei Universiade because they don't want to miss out the largest international sports game ever hosted by Taiwan.
今天虽然我怀有8个月的身孕，但我带了我儿子还有跟太极门的师兄师姐一起来为世大运加油，然后为全世界的选手加油！台湾加油加油加油！耶！台湾加油！
At 6 o'clock sharp, the 29th Universiade kicks off with a prologue. The first program of the prologue is brought by Taijuman Qigong Academy, who has been invited to perform in the Sydney Olympic Games. The performance, titled Passing on the Torch, Heart to Heart, has 268 young performers, presenting publicly an ancient formation for the first time in thousands of years, showing the true meaning of martial arts, which is to stop war and promote love and peace. The performance is just like a kung fu novel coming to the real world.
Chinese Taipei flag have made outstanding contributions to Chinese Taipei sports.
The opening ceremony begins with the flag of Chinese Taipei being brought in by Taiwanese medalists. More than 7,600 athletes from 142 nations are competing in the Games, which ranks the top 3 largest number of contestants, and the biggest delegation, Chinese Taipei, wins the most enthusiastic applause. Taipei City Mayor Ke Wen-je, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen, and the President of FISU are welcoming the athletes. Taipei finally gets a chance to let the world get to know Taiwan after its 5th bid to host this event.
在台北齐聚一堂，超越种族与距离，共同分享和平和友谊，也让我们有机会向世界证明，主办城市台北的自信、热情和活力。
The performances present a diversity of Taiwanese culture, and the large LED stage at the center makes the spectacle more dazzling. The opening ceremony has reached a world-class level, but the passion of Taiwanese people is still the most fascinating part. Although the parade of athletes is disrupted by protesters outside of the venue, the spectators' passion brings the heat once again, making the friendliness of Taiwanese people the most impressive part for athletes around the world. GPDN Taipei.
What an exciting time it is for Taipei and all of the athletes from around the world. Best of luck for the event and the athletes to not only achieve great results, but also form lasting friendship. Thank you for watching today. I'm Judy Lee. See you next time.